I want to go through each of the questions in the practice quiz and make sure that you are prepared for our regular quiz. So let's get started with this first question here. It says, write an equation for the line that fits the given information. And we know the line passes through these 2 points. So I'm going to graph those 2 points and we're going to see what the slope is for those. So we have our first point, 0, -2 down there. And our second point is at -4, 1. Which will put us at that location. Our line passes through those 2 points. All right, now we are going to find the slope for these 2 points. So we're going to go from this point down and to the right. We were at 1 up here, and we went down to -2, so that's a total down 3 right there. And over here we're at 4, and we go over to 0, so that's a run of 4. So our rise and our run for our slope will be -3 over 4. All right, we have our y-intercept. It's right there. So I'm going to use slope-intercept form for this one, which is y equals mx plus b. M is our slope, which we just saw was -3 over 4. So that would be -3 over 4 x plus, and our value for the y-intercept is right here at -2. So that would be plus a -2, and I'm going to simplify that if I can. So that would be y equals -3/4 x minus 2. Finished with that one. Next, we're given a slope, and we know we pass through the point 5, 3. So, since we have a point that is not our y-intercept, I'm going to use point-slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So our y value here, we get y minus our y value from this point, which is 3, equals our slope is given to us, so we don't have to do anything else. We can just put that in. We have -5 over 2, and then we have an x minus our x value, which is 5. And if you're okay leaving it in point-slope form, you can leave it this way. If you want it in slope-intercept form, you'll need to solve for this y value right here. I do not care which one it is on this one, so I'm going to just go ahead and leave it here in point-slope form. Next, we have this information right here from function notation. So how do we get the information out of this like before? Now, we talked in class about using these to create ordered pairs, and if we have 2 ordered pairs, then we'll be able to graph it like we did with the first one. So our x value from this first equation is 2, and our y value is 5, and from the second equation our x value is 6, and our y value is 0. So if we go ahead and put that in a graph, we get 2, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, be right there. So 2, 5, and 6, 0, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're at 6, 0, which is right there. So we do not have our y-intercept again. We're going to find our slope, and then we will use point-slope form. So let's take a look. Find our rise. We're going from 5 down to the axis, which is down 5. And then we're going from 2 to 6, which means we go over 4. So our slope is -5 over 4. Let's go ahead and use point-slope form next. So that would be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We have that slope right here, -5/4. So I'm going to put that in, -5/4. And then we have x minus and y minus, and I need those x and y values. Now, I'm going to pick this one because I like the zeros, but it doesn't matter which point you pick. So I've got my x value, which is 6, and my y value, which is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. So we get y minus the y value, which was 0, equals m times x minus our x value, which was 6. And that simplifies to y, subtracting a 0, doesn't make a difference, equals -5/4 times x minus 6. And if you wish, you could distribute this. That would give us y equals -5/4 x, and negative times a negative is positive. So that would give us plus 30/4. And 30/4 can simplify. 2 goes into both of those. So I'm going to simplify that to y equals negative 5/4 x plus 15/2. All right, so this form is in slope-intercept form. We were okay in any one of these forms from here on to the end. They're all the same thing. Let's move on to our next one. So I see on this one we're given 2 points here and here, but I also see my y-intercept right there. So even though I'm given this point right here, I think I might choose to use the y-intercept on this one. All right, so let's reset here so we can clean up, get our slope. We're going down and to the right. We end up going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. And we go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So our slope is negative 5/5, or just -1. And since I have that y-intercept there, I'm going to use slope-intercept form. So that would be y equals mx plus b, or y equals our slope, which we just decided was -1, x plus our y-intercept, which we can see right there is at -4. And I don't like that plus a negative bit, so I'm going to simplify that. So it looks like, sorry, I made a bit of a mess here. Simplify that so it looks like y equals -x minus 4. Again, both of these forms would be acceptable. They are the same thing, but this one is how you usually see it. It looks a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. Okay, let's move on to the next side. These are on the back page. So our task here is to write an equation that is parallel to line F and passes through the point 4, 5. Now 4, 5 will be right here. And we're parallel to line F, which is this line right there. So we need to find our slope. We know that parallel lines have the same slope. So I'm going to find 2 easy points on line F. There's one that's easily visible, and here's one that's on a nice corner. We're going up and to the right this time. So we've gone up 1, and from -5 to 2 we go right 7. So our slope on that one will be 1/7. All right, we do not have our y-intercept, so we're going to use this for point slope form. So our point is 4, 5. And our slope, because we're parallel, is 1/7, like our line before. So we're going to do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we have y minus our y value, which is this 5 right here. So y minus 5 equals 1/7 is our slope. We saw that earlier when we found the slope of the other line. And then we have x minus our x value, which will be that 4 right there. So x minus 4. And on this side, I told you to leave it in point slope form. So this is the way that I want to see it. We could rearrange it and solve for y if we wanted to, but I want to see you use point slope form. So let's go to the next one. We're again working with line F, but the difference here is that we are perpendicular. And we know that perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. So recalling from the last one that our slope was 1/7. Our new slope for the perpendicular line will be -7/1, and that just simplifies to -7. So I'm going to write it this way, as a -7. Our point has changed. We're going through the point 2, 3, which is right there at that location. So let's use again point slope form because that is not our y-intercept. So we've got our point 2, 3, and our slope is -7. And point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we get y minus our y value, which is that 3 right there, equals our slope, which is right here, -7 times x minus our x value, which we see right there, of 2. Alrighty. Now we're on to our next one. Again, we're leaving that in point slope form. Okay, now we are parallel to line G. So our line G is this one that goes down there. So We need to find two nice points. I see one right here for G, and I see a second point right there that's nice. So we're going down and to the right. That's down 3 and to the right 2. So the slope for line G is -3/2. We know that we're parallel to line G, so our new line is going to have that exact same slope. We're passing again through the point 4, 5, so that gives us the information we need, 4, 5, and our slope of -3/2 to use point slope form again. So that would be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we get y minus our y value, which is right there, 5, equals m, our slope, it's right here, because it's the same as g, so -3/2, times x minus our x value, which is right there, of 4. Again, I want you to leave it in this form, so we are finished. And let's go ahead and work on our final one here, which will be on the practice. I might do some extra ones with line H. So we are perpendicular to line G. So again, our slope is still -3/2. And since we're perpendicular to that, we need to find the negative reciprocal, which will be 2/3. And since this one is negative, this one will end up being positive. So there's our new slope, 2/3. And we're passing through the point 2, 3. So 2, 3 is our point, and our slope is positive 2/3. Okay, point slope form again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And we get y minus the y value, which is 3, equals our slope, which is 2/3, times x minus our x value, which is 2.